Hey Mark, I'm at it. It's always an honor and a privilege to be able to have the opportunity to share my personal experience. Hope. I'd like to personally thank Greg because, I was telling you the other day when he gave me the commitment that this one place out of all the places and I make meetings, but this the only place, because I'm a North Philly meat maker. I'm sorry, that's just what I do. You know what I mean? But I feel really at home. This is like a special privilege for me, man. You know what I mean? To just be able to have the opportunity to come here specifically and have the opportunity to share my experience, Triple Hope. And it's always like, do I qualify? What is it? I qualify. I mean, I think he always give me these strange ass topics. But I'll tell you something. All of them I can relate to personally. That's the whole, the whole magic about how this thing works. When somebody usually give me a commitment, it don't really matter too much about what it is or what's the topic, because the only thing that I had to share really is my personal experience. And I'm gonna basically talk about myself. How the road I took to get here and how it's been since I got here, and the changes that done took place since I've been here. Person, I always share this, both my parents, they was alcoholics. I basically did anything I wanted to do my entire motherfucking life. I never had nobody put any limitations or anything or tell me what I couldn't or couldn't do. I basically did whatever I wanted to do my entire life. Where I came from, they used to say, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Well, where I came from, you couldn't run with the big dogs, you had to stay the fucking house. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. It was just like that. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, I was already kind of groomed for that situation before I even came out the house. Because a lot of things have been taking place in my house. My parents, they was good people, really. You know what I mean? I basically focused on how they was living and what they was doing, because I was sitting back the other day. I used to hate the oldies, man. I used to hate the fucking oldies. And every time I used to listen to the oldies, I would always think about a bad situation that had happened or being in the fucking house alone. Because my parents were the kind of people, when they would drink, they would leave. We wouldn't see them for weeks, months, and sometimes years or years. And I was thinking about that the other day. I'm 45 years old. I'm really able to start really enjoying the oldies. I'm able to listen to the music. I'm able to understand the lyrics. And I said, damn, I've been missing this all of this time, because the only thing I was able to relate to about the oldies was all of the fucking pain and heartache that we had to suffer. I was the oldest. I always felt responsible. I never remember a moment in my motherfucking life where I didn't at least feel responsible, because it was all us. We used to sit around. My sister, she crazy. She's still crazy. But it was always me and her. Then all the rest of my brothers and sisters. Then it was all of this shit was going on. We ain't had nothing to eat. I remember stealing early. I used to go out. We used to live in Germantown. We lived on a one block where we had the only house on the whole fucking block. The rest of the block was just stores, and it was a supermarket. We would get hungry. I said, man, fuck, we gotta go get something to eat. I would just go in there and take shit, walk like I had a free lease on taking their people's shit. You know what I mean? My sister would follow them. We just say, fuck it. We get hungry, we can go shopping. You know what I mean? And it was just routine. And I remember every Christmas I used to always get these 2 guns. My father would always buy me 2 guns every Christmas. One day I wanted a fucking horse to go with it. You know what I mean? And I asked him to give me a bike. And he said, I'll get you a fucking bike. All right. He said, soon as you get old enough to get you a job, you get your own fucking. Matter of fact, this year you ain't get shit. You know what I mean? I was fucked up about it, but I was so determined to get a bike. I said, I got to have it. Because I kept seeing the motherfucker, damn, I know I could do that. You know what I mean? But one day, I got up, I went up on Shelton Avenue. I was just walking, just wondering, because that's what I did a lot, because I was always lost and confused. We was always had to defend ourselves, because motherfuckers talking about what we didn't have, or how we looked, or how dirty we was, because we had to basically fend for ourselves. So I was walking down, and I seen the horse I was looking for. And I said, damn, that's my bike. I went and got on the motherfucker. When I got on the bike, the boy ran out and said, hey buddy, what are you doing? And I immediately just got off the bike and almost beat him to death. I ain't lying. It just came natural. And I got on the bike and I rode off. And after that, I said, man, fuck that. Whatever I want, I could take. You know what I mean? And that's how most of my life was. And I ain't really like to fight a lot. My sister helped encourage that. I was the kind of guy, we would be in school, I was the kind of motherfucker, I'd talk about you running, and man, fucking your mother ain't nothing and all this. Everybody in the whole fucking school be here, they went, oh, you know what I mean? And when I would get out in the schoolyard, I would run for them niggas the whole recess. And one day my sister see me, she said, I said, motherfucker, why you ain't running for them niggas? I said, dog. I ain't running for them. I ain't running for them. Because I had a bad experience with her. One day, I flexed on her. I said, I'm the motherfucking man in this house. Wow, ain't nobody here. I'm the man. Don't you ever. And I'm going to tell you, I got a whole fucking teeth print in my side for that day. You know, God, I cried, hollered. She bit me, wouldn't let go. I said, man, I think I better leave her the fuck alone. You know what I mean? But she encouraged me, and then I began to realize that became like an outlet. I said, damn, this ain't bad, because I used to like to fight. I would fight on. Even now, I gotta be careful. I like to fight. I mean, I like to fight. I want to come in, do all the fuck I can, back up, assess the damage, and see how bad you hurt. Oh, this nigga ain't hurt bad enough, and I come back for more. And if you hurt me, I'm at my. I told the motherfucker the other day. I said, if you ain't never been in a fight, if you ain't never been beat the fuck up, you ain't never been in a fight. The fight that I lost. That was the fight that I fought the hardest. I wanted that nigga off me. That nigga had lumps and rots all over my head, everything. But the bottom line is as a result of all of these things, as a result of developing my own fucked up ideas, that I developed the condition. Because most of my life was managed through foster care, juvenile institution, and prison, and that's how my life was, and that's how I thought things were. And all my life I thought that if you was weak, you wasn't gonna make it. You know what? Because it wasn't like no in between shit. Either you was or you was like this. Because the guys that wasn't making them guys was raping them. I said, no, I ain't having, fuck that. I mean, that's not a preference of mine. So, you know what I mean? I had to do the things the big boys did. But as a result of that, I developed the condition, and the condition led me to use it. Because after a while, I began to look for something else, because the fighting was all right and all of that, but it was something else going on that I couldn't relate to. I still was in a lot of pain. I still was ashamed. I still was always embarrassed. I still felt bad about who the fuck I was. You know, I kept searching for something, but I didn't know who I was. I was lost in that shit somewhere. And I remember when I took my first drink, I joined the little gang. But when I met them, we all was downtown stealing. And they were shocked. They said, where you from? I said, I'm on the project. They said, you from the project? What project you in? I told them. So they said, well, you might want to hang out with us. I hung out with them. I even showed them a few tricks that I knew. I said, well, I said, I'm going to show you something. I went in the store. I hollered to the lady. They trying to rob me. Please help me. Miss, call the cops. When she lady in the frantic. When she runs to the back, I jumped on the cash register, hit the joint. Ding! And snatched the money. You know what I mean? They said, damn, you all right, ho? You all right? So I hung out with them, but I remember when I went back, they said, look, this is what you got to do. You got to box all us. And I said, all right, I can do that. So I boxed. The boxing just went on. It seemed like this shit would never stop. It seemed like it was just a line of niggas. Every time I finished boxing one, another motherfucker was there. I said, this shit get ridiculous now. So they said, all right, I tell you what, this is what we gonna do. They said, come on over here. They gave me a little wine. I hit the wine. The wine did something to me. I said, dang. I said, what the fuck? So they said, you gonna have to fight him. I said, all right, I'll fight him. I'm a little tired right now. But he jumped up and hit me. I said, oh no. Me and him, I damn near killed him. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, he my brother-in-law now today. He one of my brother-in-laws. I almost killed him. Yeah, I mean, he told me a couple weeks ago, he said, you remember that time, man, when you joined? He said, you remember that time I hit you? He said, you almost beat me to death, man. I swear to God, I wanted to run and cry and everything. I just couldn't do it. I said, yeah, I remember that. You know what I mean? But from that day, it was something that the wine did. Then I did all the other things that came during that area. The weed, the pills. I mean, I remember they had these pills called Red Devils, Tumalard. I started doing all the things. Then we had some paper acid. I did any and everything that everybody else did. I hear people say I had a drug. I ain't never had no drug of choice. If it got us high and I had no motherfucking money, that was it. Let's have it. You know what I mean? And eventually, somewhere, I lost control. Because I remember when I decided, I woke up one day, I couldn't go on living. I mean, I was at the end of the road. I came home from prison, and things went pretty good for me. Because they gave me an ultimatum. They was tired of me, because I would come home briefly for every now and then. When I was in the juvenile joint, I would come home and said, yeah, this is what I learned at Glen Mills, nigga. And I would be ripping and want to slap to the head and box. And them niggas said, man, we getting fucking tired of him. You know what I mean? every so many months, here comes this motherfucker with this shit. You know what I mean? So, after the juvenile, I started getting a little rougher. I said, fuck it. I'm the one doing all the gang one. When they come to jail, who they look for? They look for me. Who been saving them niggas? Me, that's who. I said, now, when I got home, I ain't felt as though I had to do no hustling. I felt as though that there was some motherfuckers I thought wasn't paying their way, I would take their money. You know what I mean? And I went on, I kept doing that. Eventually, they gave me an ultimatum one year. When I came home, they said, that shit's over. Now, we got a spot for you, but things changed. I said, what, you threatening me? He said, nah, man, I ain't threatening. I'm just telling you, you don't got to do that shit no more. And I said, I'm going to get mine. I don't care how it comes. You know what I mean? But they hooked me up, and things went good. I had like a 6-year run where I was just getting money. I couldn't believe it. I got scared. You know what I mean? But all of that shit turned around, and eventually I got on the other side some kind of way. And the good run turned into a motherfucking nightmare, basically. And I went on, I remember, man, me and my sister, I remember one time I was sitting there with my sister, we was getting high. Because I used to get high around a lot of people. I was the kind of nigga, and I got high, I go up in a motherfucking spot and tell a motherfucker, watch the door. Don't let nobody in here. Yeah. I thought that I was in a motherfucking hit out of the gallery. Nobody knew what I was doing. They knew what everybody else was doing. Don't let them niggas in here. Then I get in that motherfucker. As soon as I get high, I cut the lights out. Pull a gun out. Start peeping and shit. All motherfucking night long. They said, we gotta get this nigga out of here. We gotta get you out. We gotta get this nigga out. But I mean, one day, me and her was getting high. I was fucked up. I was in debt. I had lost everything, my home, my kids. I was just going to work, getting a paycheck. And she told me one day, me and her sitting there get high. Gail said, you fucked up, you need help. I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm fucked up. You sitting here with me doing the same fucking thing. Fuck you talking about? I was offended too. I got up and left my fucking house. You know what I mean? I was offended. Yeah, I dare you tell me I'm fucked up. You know what I mean? I got up, I left my motherfucking house. But when I became in a lot of pain, I was desperate. I remembered that. I remember that one little thing she said to me made all the difference for me. That I was fucked up and I needed help. I called a friend of mine. I told him, I said, look, for the first time in my life, because I was the kind of person, I thought if I could have it, it could be done. I never relied on anybody to do anything for us. We never asked anybody. We always depended on what we had to do. You know what I mean? I said, look, I said, I'm fucked up, man. I said, you know what I mean? I said, I'm fucked up. I've been doing this, doing that. I'm really tired. I can't go on living like this no more. So he used to be a member of this fellowship. He no longer around here, but he directed me to Narcotics Anonymous. And I said, the guy came and got me. He said, look, man, I'm going to come get you. He said, but there's a lot of people that need help. He said, what are you willing to do to get the help that you need? I said, whatever it takes. And at that moment, I realized on looking back that I really meant that deep inside, that I really meant that. When he came and I stayed there, I called my sister, and I said, look, I just called this. I told her what was going on. She said, don't go nowhere. I'll come and wait with you. I kept telling her, my brother owed me $40. I had to get my motherfucking money. She said, don't worry about the $40. Just go get the help. I said, well, the nigga got my money. She said, just go get the help. So she stayed, she waited with me. The guy came, got me, took me into the facility, and I was glad, man. I went there, I stayed for 7 days, and for the first time in my entire life, the only thing ever really saved me from that point all the way up to then was prison. And I'm gonna tell you, it was strange because our lives were so fucked up that a lot of times I'd rather be in jail than be home because all of the heartache, all of the pain that was there. You know, a lot of people come here, they say, oh, you know, we come from a loving kid. I ain't never come from none of that. I came from a place where I had to do whatever the fuck it took to make it. I had to do whatever it took. I would tell you something. I came here, I had no dreams, I had no hopes or aspirations or anything. I developed that from y'all. I developed that from God and you people. I came here hopeless, dreamless, pitiless, and I was spiritually broke. So everything that I got, I owe the narcotics now. My very existence. Because before I came here, I had any idea of what life had to offer or what life really was. My idea of life was that I had to get the motherfucker before he got me. That was my whole concept of living. And you know, I came here and some things happened for me. When I went to that place for the first time in my life, I was clean for 7 days. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I was clean for 7 days. You know, I couldn't believe that. And and people was coming in from commitments for H&I. I began to develop some hope. A lot of those meetings when I went in when I was in detox, I hear shit. I was just in there hoping that when is this shit gonna end? When is it gonna end? It got to be an end of this. I know that I'm bigger than this. And when it was a lady there, she passed away not too long ago. At the time, she had 18 years clean. She was working at the hospital, and I had gotten high with her whole family. And she said that she said, I'm glad to see you here. I'm sorry to see you under these circumstances, but I'm glad to see you here. And she suggested that I go to a 28-day program, and I went. And I'm gonna tell you something. Everywhere I ever went, I always created problems. When my homies used to see me, they said, oh shit. Because I would come up, and I don't give a fuck who they was with, or how buddy they was. Who this nigga? What are you doing? Are you from my way? What are you, faggot? Why hang around us? You know what I mean? He got any money? He going to the store next week? And they would be like, man, hold up, man. You know what I mean? He all right, cool, fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? That's how I was. There was no one. However I went, I was going to create some problems. When I went to prison, I stayed in the hole most of the time that I stayed there because I couldn't stay out of shit. When I went there, I was willing to do whatever them people did. Whatever they said, I said, yep, you're right. And I mean, I remember them saying that only 3% of the people that left there was going to make it. And I had a thought in my mind. I never said nothing. I just said, I know that one of them got to be me. When I left there, man, I did everything that they told me to do. They said, make a me. And I was scared, man. I never been scared like that in my fucking life. I done been to some of the worstest places you can imagine. And I looked forward to it. When I went to Gratisford, when my homies see me, I was 17. They said, Finn, what you doing here, man? Same thing you doing here. Send me some cigarettes and a knife over. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I know what I thought in my mind? Damn, I've arrived. I said, I'm finally here. I'm here at the door. I'm here with my homies now. Fuck that. Let's have it. Where the action? They were like, man, calm down, man. Calm down. Let's say, who got the wine? Where the weed at? You know what I mean? I said, this is it. You know, I thought that was it. But when I went to that place, I wouldn't do whatever them fucking people said. I don't care what it was. Yep, you right. When I got out there, I had never been that scared of anything in my life. When I left that motherfucker, I was scared to death. I said, oh shit, what now? I just didn't want to go back to where I had come from. And I'm gonna share this, man. And this is the honest to God truth, man. Like, I became the kind of person, and I always share this, man, you know, and I really feel kind of uncomfortable sharing around my sister, but I think it's something I really need to say, because I say it when she ain't around. I need to say it when she is. But when I was using, I shot my sister, and I wouldn't let nobody help her. Because that's what drugs did to me. That's the kind of uncouth human motherfucking being that I had lost the ability to care about any fucking body or anything. When I came here, y'all showed me, y'all told me y'all gonna love me too. I learned how to love myself. As a result of that, since I've been here, I became a single fucking parent. I'm a fucking foreman on my job. People look up to me and ask me for advice. Me and my sister has become like the matriarch of our family. We setting standards. We able to be there for our kids. We doing things that we never learned. before that nobody never taught us. But that's only as a result of coming here and allowing God and you people in our lives to give us the help that we the fuck need. And as a result of that, things have changed. Every day my life improved. I still a little fucked up some days. You know what I mean? But I keep showing up. I keep showing up because things do get better. And that's assured. Now the evidence is behind me. I've been clean for 11 years and 8 months. I was a motherfucker hopeless, due to die, Dofi. I never imagined that. Every day, I'm going to tell you something. The most motherfucking prevalent thing in my life is not using. As a result of that, everything works out. And I've been in a lot of different situations since I've been clean. I have had my house in foreclosure. I have had the repo man after my motherfucking car. I have had bill collectors. So many I can't even imagine. Everybody's coming after me. And I didn't worry about none of that shit. I kept showing up here listening to y'all. I kept praying. I kept putting forth the effort the effort to do the things that I need to do. I developed some courage here that I never had before in my life as a result of having God and you people in my life. And I'm going to tell you something. I hear people say, all I need is God. Fuck that. If I thought that was all I need, I wouldn't be able to stay here. I need y'all because a lot of days my motherfucking faith ain't that great where I can depend on God alone. I need to see the evidence. I need to see the proof working in y'all life a lot of days. I have people here that I watch all the time making it through all kind of fucking situations, good, bad, indifferent. And they all is prevalent in my life because a lot of times we forget how important our predecessors are. But as a result, I remember being in a meeting, I remember being with somebody in this fellowship. And I must have had I think I had 30 days clean. And they were saying, yeah, man, I just lost my crib, but I ain't want to. And they was talking about that shit leisurely. And I was thinking to myself, do this motherfucker know what he's homeless? Right? Right? You know what I mean? And he fucked me out. I mean, he talked about that shit leisurely. I mean, I couldn't believe that shit. I'm looking, and in my mind, I said, this nigga don't know what kind of trouble he is. But it didn't seem like he was worried a fucking bit about it. And then later on, he came back and shared the hope on how shit worked out for him. And it gave me the hope to realize, because a lot of days I become desperate. I want to do a whole lot of things. My mind revolves around a lot of different shit. But I'm able, as a result of showing up here, to make better choices, to make better decisions than I did as a result of not using. The most important thing that I get here is that y'all tell me consistently, if you don't use, Mark, things will get better. Don't use no matter what. Don't use no matter what. Staying clean must come first. That's the most prevalent thing that takes place in our meetings. And I mean, as a result of that, and through God and through you people and through the step process, things have improved. Today, man, I have hopes and aspirations and dreams. You know, my daughter, me and her goes through it too, man. But I had her since she was 7, 8 years old by my fucking self. And I didn't take her because her mom was using or none of that. Her mom never used before the life. I took her because she got to a point in her life where she couldn't take care of my daughter, our kids. She lost her place. She lost one of her jobs, right? And she told me, she said, if I could move in with you, I probably could save a little. I probably could save some money, and get things together. I said, no, that ain't gonna work. I said, man, you can't even breathe the same motherfucking air together. How we gonna do that? You know what I mean? I said, but what I will do is that I'll take that responsibility off of you so that you can do what you need to do to get back on track. And as a result, I was able to take my daughter in cooperation, not in hostility, in cooperation. And I've had her ever since. She on her way to college. You know what I mean? And she tell me a lot of days, man, I love you. You know, and some days I don't see that much about. Sometimes I don't think that high of myself all the time. Because I remember God said one day, he said, Mark, do you know what an addict is? I said, no, what is that? He said, an addict is an egocentric maniac with a motherfucking inferior complex. I said, what the fuck is that? That's a fucking. I said, what is that? He said, that's in 1 minute feeling like you all that, and the next instant feeling like shit. I can relate to that. You know, a lot of days, and I'm gonna tell you something, a lot of people probably don't shit it, but through most of those situations where things start getting tough, the third thing I think about is using. I'm still not free from the thoughts of using. But so many other things that's in front of me there's so many other choices that I have that is basically irrelevant. And I thank God, man, that I have been blessed with enough confidence, with enough faith, with having you people as a gift in my life to keep encouraging me not to use. Because as a result of that, man, my life has matured. I've grown drastically. I'm not as hostile as I used to be. I was telling my friend today about an incident I had at my job that I'm still a little fucked up and I know I need help. Yeah, I mean, but I had a young guy, me and him real cool, and he kept playing with me, kept playing. But for some reason, about 3 days ago, he was like he was trying to muscle me. I said, all right. I tell him, look, I said, you squeezing me, you hurt me, man. Take it easy, calm the fuck down. Right? But he kept on. Then we was going down the steps, and he went to grab the back of my fucking legs. I said, now he's a fucking fool. I reached out and grabbed the back of his neck like that and choked him till he lost his fucking breath. And I grabbed his head like this. I said, now I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. Right? And he looked, he was, you know what I mean? And I said, and I'm gonna fuck you. And he was, I was really the motherfucker, I must have choked the motherfucker too hard. The motherfucker passed out. The motherfucker passed out. He been asking me for the last 3 days, man, you trying to kill me, man. I said, no. I said, I'm not trying to kill you, man. But he keep asking me, you trying to kill you, you even fuck me, man. I said, man, I just want to know why. I said, I told you to stop playing. But what happened was, by him playing with me like that, I became vicious, motherfucker. Cause I know he ain't that bad, he ain't that rough. You want to play? I said, you wanted to play rough. I played rough with you. It was all right when you played rough with me. Yeah, I mean, now I play rough with you. Now I try to kill you. You know what I mean? But I said, that's why I got to keep showing up. You know what I mean? I got to keep showing up. But I thank God, man, that I got you people in my life. That I came here, I developed a sense of humor. I got a sense of dignity about myself. I'm feeling wholly free and freely whole because y'all have given me something that I wasn't ever able to find in life. And y'all gave me hope, man. And as a result of giving me the hope that I got here, I developed some faith. And as a result of developing the faith, man, my life began to train. And like it says that my life is like blossoming, like a flower in the sun. And every day, man, every day, I realize how important, and how precious my life is, and how important, and how precious other people's lives are. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I always share this too. I don't even know if I know what love the fuck is, but I do know this. I do know as a result of being here, having you people in my life, and God, and this fellowship, that I have an idea what it could be. And as a result of that, I can keep showing up because I want more of what this fellowship has to offer. Thanks for allowing me to share.